If you can't stand Karens, you might want to buckle up because what you're about to hear, it'll make you laugh, groan, and maybe want to toss a clipboard across your living room. So here's my story about how one woman, Elena Vance, nearly destroyed my life, my peace, and my wallet all over my dog. And not just any dog, you understand. We're talking about Duchess, my snow white, goofy as heck standard poodle. She's the kind of gentle soul who'd probably invite a burglar in for a snack if the guy brought her a tennis ball. And the best part? The wild, ridiculous part that'll make you want to throw your phone. I don't even live in this woman's neighborhood, not even a member of her HOA, not part of her little beige on beige kingdom. But you know how power works. For some people, a little taste isn't enough. They want the whole pie, the fork, and the right to tell you how to chew. See Elena Queen Elena, president of the Willow Creek Estates HOA. She saw Duchess and me walking on the public sidewalk, and she decided we were criminals worthy of a $2,000 fine. And that's how this circus started. It was a perfect spring Tuesday, one of those mornings where the sun's just right, you're in your groove, not a care in the world except maybe getting a little sweat in before you sit down to a day of Zoom calls and too much coffee. I had my tank, my shorts, Duchess trotting beside me, her pom-pom tail waving like she was running for mayor. Our usual route's a little 5-mile loop down my regular street, old bricks, new builds, kids' bikes, you get the picture. Then we'd hit the border of Willow Creek Estates, where the grass is so green it looks fake, and every tree's been trimmed to within an inch of its life. The sidewalk runs right along the main drag public land city property, not theirs. But I learned fast that logic and boundaries don't matter to people like Elena. I saw her coming late 60s, helmet of blonde hair you could use as a flotation device, navy blazer so stiff it might actually be bulletproof, 2 security guards in tow. She blocks my path. Duchess sits like the world's politest statue, and Elena snaps, "You're in violation." I thought she was joking. Violation of what exactly, I ask, and she stares at Duchess like my dog just dropped a bomb on her hydrangeas. Willow Creek Estates has a zero-tolerance policy for pets, effective Monday. No animals on community property. Your animal. She says it like she's talking about toxic waste is in direct violation of Bylaw 17 Article C. I almost laughed. I was standing on a public sidewalk, not their property, not their business. But the more I tried to explain, ma'am, this isn't your community. I don't live here. This is a public sidewalk. The madder she got. The aesthetic and atmospheric integrity of our community extends to its periphery, she screeched. Her security guards looked embarrassed, but I could tell they weren't about to cross their queen. And then, with a flourish, she rips a citation off her clipboard. Fine for first offense, $2,000, due in 30 days. It was so over the top, so out of left field, I half expected Ashton Kutcher to leap out of the bushes and yell, "You've been punked." But nope, just me, my confused dog, and the HOA dictator of the block. I didn't take her paper. I laughed. I couldn't help it. That did not make her happy. "Young man," she hissed, "you can accept this citation, or my security staff will document your refusal and increase your fine for non-cooperation." I looked at those guards, one of them muttered. "Oh, for crying out loud," under his breath. The other studied a crack in the sidewalk like it was his thesis. But Elena, she just stared, certain she was right. This wasn't about dogs. It was about control, plain and simple. I took her stupid paper, the ink bold and bossy, and walked home feeling like I'd just met the final boss of all Karens. At home, I flattened the citation on my counter, hoping it'd vanish like a bad dream. Spoiler, it didn't. I Googled city ordinances. Public sidewalks are public surprise, surprise, no. HOA has jurisdiction there. Then I checked Willow Creek's HOA website. Pristine lawns, flowery welcome from the board, and a big bold headline, "A New Dawn, Willow Creek. A pet-free community." written by none other than Elena Vance herself. Her newsletter was pure paranoia, barking dogs contaminated lawns. Residents ordered to rehome their pets within 30 days. Like you could swap a beloved cat or dog for a new throw pillow. It made me sick. I took Duchess out for her afternoon walk away from Willow Creek this time and ran into my neighbor Mr. Henderson out with his roses. He's old school, 40 years on the street, knows everyone and everything. I told him the whole story, expecting a chuckle. But he just shook his head. She's new. Used to work in city government, loved red tape. That pet BANS got everyone over there scared. She'll make your life hell if you're not careful, Marcus. Well, he wasn't wrong. A week passed, and I started to hope it'd blow over. I tossed the citation, changed my route just in case, but then a cream envelope came in the mail, office of the President Willow Creek Estates. Inside, on thick letterhead, was a formal escalation. My flagrant disregard had raised the fine added late and administrative fees and a continued non-compliance penalty total $2,750. The kicker: a threat to explore all legal avenues to collect this debt, including a lien on your property. My house isn't even in their HOA. If that's not bonkers, I don't know what is. Even worse, a PS at the end. Our surveillance is comprehensive. Surveillance? I looked at Duchess, asleep on her bed, the world's least threatening criminal. Fear turned into resolve. I grabbed the crumpled citation out of the trash, put it next to the new letter, and decided to fight back. I brought my little folder to Mr. Henderson, who read every word, jaw-dropping. She's bluffing, Marcus, but she wants you scared. Start documenting everything and find an ally inside Willow Creek. They can't all be happy with this. That advice changed everything. Soon after, at the pet store, I met Mrs. Gable, nervous, clutching cat treats, talking on the phone about hiding her cat from her. I introduced myself. Turns out she was living in fear. Her cat, Mittens, a 13-year-old sweetheart, was about to be torn from her. She told me about Elena's emergency powers, her threats, her intimidation at HOA meetings. People were too scared to stand up. But Mrs. Gable wasn't alone anymore. We swapped numbers and boom, a resistance was born, the young web guy and the cat-loving grandma. Suddenly we had intel from inside. Turns out plenty of Willow Creek residents were quietly defying Elena, hiding parakeets, guinea pigs, old terriers. Terrified of the bounty system, Elena had set up $100 for snitching on a neighbor with a pet. All the while, I kept getting nastier letters, fees, ballooning threats of restraining orders if I walked the public sidewalk again. I started calling legal aid and finally found a lawyer, Alicia, a sharp, determined woman who nearly fell out of her chair laughing at Elena's citations. She has zero case. These fines, these threats, they're harassment, plain and simple. Alicia drafted a cease and desist official letterhead and all demanding Elena back off or face real legal action. For 48 hours, blissful silence, then the storm. The guards started parking their golf cart across from my house, watching every time I took Duchess out, even just to pee. My neighbors noticed, and honestly, they rallied. Chloe, a young mom, said, "She tries that with my beagle. She's got another thing coming." Even so, the stress wore on me, and Duchess, who grew skittish and anxious. Then came the big legal threat. A lawsuit, a restraining order hearing. Elena's lawyer called me a public menace, claimed my dog walks were causing emotional distress. I was scared, but Alicia said, "This is good. We'll get our day in court and expose her." Meanwhile, inside Willow Creek, things went full dystopia, random wellness checks, searching for contraband pets. Mrs. Gable called, terrified. That night, we pulled off Operation Mittens Freedom, smuggled her cat to my house safe and sound, while the guards slept. Emboldened, our community fought back. Chloe organized a dog walk right past Willow Creek, peaceful, legal, and impossible to ignore. Elena tried more letters, more threats, but every move just united us further. Inside Willow Creek, Mrs. Gable and her crew started spreading the word, sharing their own stories, digging for answers. And then just when I thought we'd hit a wall, Mr. Henderson gave me the key. Did you know Willow Creek's founder loved animals, donated to shelters? The original HOA charter might still protect pets. Off I ran to the county office, digging through old records, and there it was, plain as day, an original clause that guaranteed every resident the right to common household pets, unbreakable, locked in, not erasable by any new bylaw. Game, set, match. We got copies made, and Mrs. Gable rallied the rebels to the annual HOA meeting. My crew gathered on the sidewalk outside, signs, dogs, quiet resolve. As the meeting started, Mrs. Gable stood up, voice steady. Bylaw 17C is illegal. Article X, Section 4. Inalienable right to companionship. Residents pulled out copies, read the clause aloud together. The room erupted. Applause, shouts, demands for Elena's resignation. On the spot, the board repealed the pet ban and voted Elena out. She stormed out, face thunderous, caught by every news camera in town. The aftermath. Willow Creek bloomed, dogs everywhere. Laughter, relief. The new board apologized to every resident, canceled every fine, even welcomed us to join their community events. Mrs. Gable. She's now the Harmony Chair, keeping an eagle eye on any future tyrants. And Mittens, I'm happy to report, enjoys sunny naps in her favorite window. Duchess and I walk wherever we please, no more borders, just neighbors. You know, when you strip it all down, this was never just about a dog or a sidewalk or even an HOA. It's about how people treat each other, the power of community, and what happens when you stand together and say, enough. Bullies like Elena think their rules are power, but real power is a neighbor's wave, a shared cause, an old woman refusing to give up her cat. We won something bigger than a lawsuit. We built a better neighborhood, one where decency beats fear. If you've ever faced down a clipboard-wielding tyrant, or just love a happy ending for the underdogs, well, you're in the right place. Tell me, what would you have done if you were in my shoes? Ever tangled with a power-mad HOA? Drop a comment. Share your story, and let's build a real community right here, right now. And don't forget to subscribe for the next wild tale, because I promise things are just getting interesting.